On now to Representative LaFave.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I appreciate it very much. Audience members, we're not going to be able to get to the end of this if we continue with interruption. So I would ask a little bit more patience with us. I have two questions, as we have two witnesses. I hope that's okay, Mr. Chairman.
If there are relevant questions, I will let you proceed.
If they're not relevant, Mr. Chairman, please rule me out of order. I would appreciate it. Question number one, as I heard from, could you say your name again?
Hima Kolanagi Reddy.
Hima, thank you.
You want to try that?
I'm going to try it once. I'm not going to try it twice because I got a bad memory. I heard that there are sequential ballots from one street called Goddard Street that have no dates.
Correct.
Approximately how many would you say?
Each box would have 50 ballots. There were about three boxes there. I was already tired because we have no chairs. So I took down, after 20, 25 names, there's no point because you can see what's going on. So I immediately wrote down all those details, gave a sworn affidavit to Election Integrity Fund. And I said, this is what I witnessed. These are the names. These are the ballot numbers. And this is not the address, but then I told them that it's Goddard Street is something that just stood out because you can see it on the highway. So I know that name. I'm like, I don't even know what's happening. And we were told not to challenge anything at that point because they said this entire process needs to be challenged. So don't challenge. Try to stay in. Try not to get kicked out. So that's what I was doing.
Very helpful. Thank you. Andrew, approximately how many duplicate ballots did you see in general? And then, if you could, approximately how many of those duplicate ballots, and these are your words, not mine, do you believe were stolen or taken off of the table and brought to places that you believe they shouldn't have been brought to?
So, as my responsibility to stand in the center of the room by the duplicate table, an employee would come up and need a duplicate ballot, right? For example, just to layman's term, let's say there's a coffee stain on the ballot, right? Which none of these ballots had any real issues from as far as I know. They're all tabulator issues. But they would come grab a ballot, and my responsibility was to follow them to their table, to be the challenger, to observe over it. So there would be me, there would be the workers, and there would be a Democrat challenger, and we would observe over it. Throughout the entire time I volunteered, I would say between 24 to 36. And there were times where we had people stationed around the room. And so if there was someone who was stationed, like a Michigan GOP volunteer, right, was in a specific area, I would tell that employee, hey, watch over this duplicate ballot because I need to run back to the center of the room in case someone steals more ballots again. So they would do that. And if no one was there, then I would watch over it. And I watched over maybe 2 to 3 dozen throughout the whole night. So that's the first part of the question. The duplicate theft started in the beginning of the night. Roughly 10:30 p.m., 10:15 p.m., I saw theft of duplicate ballots where they would grab 3, 4. So no clear number. The number that I saw was probably in the first shift, I would say over half a dozen, easy. Second shift, it was more hectic, and I would say roughly the same thing. But you also have to take and consider that the third shift from 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. the next day, and also the 1 a.m. shift, because people were leaving at 2 a.m. and 1 a.m. They wouldn't stay until 5 a.m. because we're less people volunteering because they're weeding off. That the table was guarded less, and we have less people, so there's more opportunity for theft. Does that help a little bit?
Absolutely. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.